Hi, welcome to Talk of the Town. I'm Justin Riley, and we are joined in our studio by Roseanne Sheridan, who is the artistic director for Children's Theater of Madison, or CTM. Roseanne, welcome to the program.
Thanks for having me.
I love you're looking very Christmassy already.
Well, once a year.
Speaking of Christmas, you guys are starting the Christmas Carol very soon now.
Sure.
And for those of us who don't know, tell us a little bit about what that play is about.
Well, you know, it's hard to imagine that somebody doesn't know, but it's a wonderful story about transformation. It's the story of Ebenezer Scrooge and his visits by ghosts that helped him to see his past, his present, and his potential future if he doesn't change his ways. So what's wonderful about it is it's a story that you can hear every year, never get tired of, and especially because you've got the old and the young and the Tiny Tim with his wonderful message of God bless us everyone. But it's really a story about generosity and community and compassion and making the most of your every day that you have.
Absolutely. And it's a story that's so very infused in our culture. There's so many different adaptations and variations. Even in pop culture, sitcoms around Christmas time start doing things like that. So.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, Charles Dickens actually is credited for reinstating the traditions of Christmas with this story. And so now that it's taken off in so many different forms, it's a lot of fun.
Very cool. So now, is this a play that is just for adults to go to, or can kids go as well?
Absolutely. This is a play for all generations. We recommend it for ages 6 and up because there are some scary ghosts in Christmas future. But it's a wonderful opportunity for grandparents and parents and families to come together and community members to come together and see it. So it's really appropriate for all ages and best enjoyed by all ages.
Best enjoyed by all ages. I like that. So a number of people make that, and my family included, we were talking a little bit about that before the interview, make a tradition of going to see the Christmas Carol every year. Can you tell us what's different this year? What might surprise folks who have gone for years past?
Well, this year the show gets a kind of an extreme makeover. It's an all new set, and it's really different from what we've had in the past. It's just beautiful. I've seen it in rehearsal, and it's been exciting to watch it that way. It's got new costumes and new music, and because the space itself is so transformed from the past, it just feels like an all-new production. Has a new director. I've directed it for 8 years, and this year I handed off the baton to James Ridge, who has played Ebenezer Scrooge for the last 4 years. He's directing the show this year, and John Pribble, who's a wonderful actor from American Players Theater, is playing Ebenezer Scrooge. So new actors, new scenery, new costumes. It just feels like a fresh new show, and I think people will hear things and see things that they haven't remembered seeing or hearing before.
Yeah, absolutely. It's kind of neat to freshen it up every now and then and put a different spin.
It is, and it's fun to watch the different designers and the director and the different actors, because there's new actors in it as well.
How many actors do you have this
We
year?
have over 42 actors in the show, and about 21 of those are young people under the age of 18. The youngest actor is 9, and the oldest actor is probably in his 60s. So
You say that as if he doesn't probably want you to say that.
yeah, I think that sometimes after a certain point we all decide, yeah, we're just over 40 now.
Right. So I'm curious to know, why do you think A Christmas Carol has become such a holiday tradition for so many families?
You know, it's interesting because I have actually had some young people that are in the show say that Christmas doesn't start for their family until they come to see A Christmas Carol. And I think because it's a combination of it being so traditional, taking place in Victorian England, and hearing traditional carols and remembering sort of what this holiday is really about, which is the spirit of generosity and family and coming together and all that. So I think the story is so timeless, and the experience of getting dressed up and coming to the theater and seeing this production and then celebrating afterwards is it's just a wonderful holiday event for so many people. And we're really happy that we get to be one of the events that kicks the season off for everyone and helps bring everybody together in that way.
Absolutely. Well, we're really excited to embark on that holiday tradition and also see what you got going on that's new this year. So
Yeah, it's going to be a wonderful production, and it starts on Friday the 12th and closes on the 23rd. So when kids are out of school on the 22nd and 23rd of December, they, with their parents or grandparents or friends, can come and see the show in the afternoon at 2:30. So it's great. We've got lots of different times and lots of different days in which the show is presented.
Roseanne Sheridan, thank you so much for joining us. Children's Theater of Madison, CTM, puts on A Christmas Carol this year at the Capitol Theater in the Overture Center. We'll be right back with more Talk of the Town. Welcome back to Talk of the Town. We just love talking about rugby here at CW57. We've had the Wisconsin Rugby Club on a number of our shows now, and today we're going to be talking a little bit of college rugby. And I'm joined by Dan Genslin and Hunter Crass, who are members of the UW Badger Rugby Club team. Welcome to the program, guys.
Thanks for having us.
Here.
Yeah.
So, you guys just recently participated in the Big Ten Rugby Championship. Who did you guys play?
We played Ohio State in the championship.
And what were the weather conditions like?
Well, they were pretty cold.
That's
Below,
putting it. Yeah, that's putting
It was
it
like
nicely. It was very
freezing.
cold.
Yeah, so that was a couple weeks ago when we had the cold snap,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And how does that change the way the game is played, or how you guys approach the game in terms of just dealing with that extra element of cold?
I think it's cold to begin with. You're a little like cold and you want to warm up, but once the game like progresses and you get more and more involved in the game, your body starts to warm up, and it really isn't that big of a factor.
So you just kind of go ahead.
Yeah. Maybe you can't do as much fancy things as you wanted to, because it's harder to get the ball moving around the field is nice. But your hands. It's definitely more of a factor when the game first starts, but once you get into it, it's not as bad. Yeah.
Sure. So you just kind of warm up as the game goes on.
Yeah. Exactly.
You probably just don't even notice it because you've got adrenaline pumping
Yeah,
and all that stuff. So, Dan, I wonder if you can, for you, describe or summarize the game of rugby. How does it all work?
I guess when I first started, I considered it a lot like a kind of a mixture between American football and soccer. It's continuous, but it's similar to football because there's a lot of tackling and intense contact. But it has significant differences in both those sports. I guess it's a lot of endurance and a lot of
Physicality.
physicality.
So you don't get a lot of the timeouts that we've come to expect when we watch an American football game, where the refs have to stop and analyze a play and this and that. You don't get that so much in rugby.
Yeah, for example, if you make a tackle, you can't really. There's no time to really celebrate. You got to get right back up and keep playing. So it's a little different than what I was used to.
No celebration dances then for rugby.
Sadly, no.
Got to leave your ego at the door, I suppose, a little bit. Okay. Yeah. So what is your season over? What's the next step in your season?
Okay, so it seems that on Wednesday we'll take a team vote, but we have a couple options. We have the option to go with sevens, which is what's going to be in the Olympics, which is where it's 7 players versus 7 players rather than 15 versus 15. And whether or not what we decide, hopefully we can succeed in that. But our next game, like in terms of importance of a game, will be in the spring when all the snow melts and there's time to practice outside. But we'll be preparing for tour in France where we'll have 3 15s games, but we'll figure out what we're going to do on Wednesday as a team.
How long is a game usually?
2 40-minute halves.
2 40-minute halves. So you don't have the quarters, you have halves.
Halves.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then there's stoppage time.
Okay. And what's the difference between besides the number of players between 7s and 15s?
Well, sevens is 7-on-7, so there's less people, and the field stays the same, and it's more of like a more endurance and not as much like contact.
Okay.
Whereas 15 is like more contact and not as like fast paced. And sevens is only 7-minute halves instead of 40-minute halves.
Higher scoring, like higher
Yeah.
higher scoring on average in sevens. Yeah.
What do you like to play?
Just the type of player I am, I prefer 15s, but we've had a lot of success in both. So no matter what we do, I'll probably try and stick around, and
Sure.
it'll be my last semester in the spring. So
Well, congratulations. Hunter, what about you? What do you like, sevens or 10s?
I am more of a sevens kind of guy. I play a lot of summer sevens back in Milwaukee
Uh-huh.
with a men's club down there, and that's just what I enjoy more personally.
Sure. Now, Hunter, you were MVP of this last game. Congratulations on that. I'm curious to know, how long have you been playing rugby now? Like, when did you get involved, and how long have you been playing?
I've been around the game since 7th grade, watching my older brother play, and then played 4 years in high school, and now this is my second year at Madison playing with the college club.
Very cool. Dan?
I actually started my sophomore year of college. Out of high school, I went to go play football, and I decided to transfer for academic reasons, but I still wanted to be competitive. So it was. I wish I had been around it longer. Fell in love with it, but yeah, only 3.5, 4 years.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Dan and Hunter, thank you so much for joining us. They're from the UW Men's Rugby Club, and they recently won the Big Ten College Championship in rugby, and the score was 34-20. Very good. We'll be right back with more Talk of the Town. Welcome back to Talk of the Town. If you're looking for a great place to eat here in Dane County, we have just the place for you. It's the 1855 Saloon and Grill, and I'm joined by its general managers, Owen King and Shirley Langer. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks.
Thank you. So tell us what makes 1855 stand out from other restaurants.
Well, 1855, it's locally owned and operated, which is very important. It's got a great historical value. If you walk through the restaurant, it's got the old boardwalk walking area. It's got the pictures of the past. It's very, very nice. Traditionally, we do the Friday night fish fries, the Saturday night prime rib. So we're covered on all that.
Do you want to add anything, Shirley?
Well, just that, there's lots of room. We have a large cocktail lounge area and bar that seats, quite a few people. We have 3 different dining rooms, one including a private banquet area.
Cool, very cool. What are some of the special the food promotions that you offer for your guests?
Well, we do, like every Monday, we do 2-for-1 burgers, which is it's a great program for us. Tuesdays, we do $10 pastas. I'll turn the rest over to Shirley, but I know that she's a big fan of Wednesdays.
It is. It's $5 modern martinis. Thursday night then goes to prime rib. And as he said, Friday night fish fry, Saturday prime rib. And Sunday we have our pot roast and chicken and dumpling special.
Wow, so it seems like you guys almost have something going on almost every day of the week.
It is, and that's just for food.
That's just for food.
Yes.
All right, cool. So as far as non-food items like entertainment, what do you got going on down there at 1855?
Well, we do entertainment.
Obviously, you both are very entertaining.
Right. But we do, we do all kinds of things entertainment-wise. Sure, I think it's Wednesday.
Through Saturday, we have live music
Sure.
in the cocktail lounge, which is free to our guests. Just come in and enjoy the food and entertainment.
My big entertainment is our tap line. I mean, we have 16 local tap lines, with the exception of obviously Guinness is on there. That's not very local. But everything else is produced 90 miles from the restaurant. So it's a very neat program that we run there, from your Lake Louise to your Central Waters to your Spotted Cows and those things. So it's great.
Very cool. Now, Shirley, you mentioned you have a banquet room. Can you tell us a little bit about the banquet room?
We do. Our banquet room seats 70 people, and we do parties from wedding rehearsal dinners are very popular. showers, anniversary dinners, meetings, business meetings, and now, of course, the holiday parties.
So you host holiday parties now?
We do,
Okay,
yes.
very cool.
Yep.
So if someone wanted to get involved, all they'd have to do is just call you up or look on your website and...
Absolutely. I've got packages listed online. We can individualize to anyone's special needs, and we'd be happy to have you guys come out.
Very cool, very cool. Tell us, what else do you guys offer at 1855?
Well, we offer a lot of great food, but I think the big thing is you walk into the restaurant, you're invited by our wood-burning pizza oven.
Yes.
Which is, if you've ever been there, it is absolutely fantastic.
Yes.
You get in there, you can smell it walking in the door, and it's one of my favorite things of the restaurant. It's picturesque just to be able to sit there, have one of those cold micro beers, and have a pizza delivered right in front of you.
Yeah.
What a great day.
Yeah, it's a great day. And you guys chefs that cook the pizza right there where people can see it.
Right. So you're part of the whole product. You're part of the start of it and eating it at the end, so it's great.
Very nice.
Yes.
Very nice. So you guys are in Cottage Grove. Tell us what is unique about that particular area that you're in.
Go ahead, Shirley. I'll let you handle that one.
Well, it's centrally located right on Main Street.
Sure.
Right next to Glacial Drumlin Bike Trail. So if you're biking, walking, or even snowmobiling, please stop in.
Right.
There's no dress attire. It's a casual dress. Everyone is welcome. And like I said, it's just a fun time. It's a small community, but we welcome everybody. Like he says, it's a big city food in a small town. So come on out to Cottage Grove.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Tell me a little bit about the name 1855. I think I have a feeling of what it means. But
Well, 1855 was the first settlement in the area.
Okay.
So that's kind of how that came in. It's also the year of Smith & Wesson, and 1855 has a lot of historical value to it if you take a look at Miller Brewing Company, 1855. So it has a lot going on, but in the Cottage Grove area was the first settlement. So that's how we came across that.
very cool.
You bet.
Yeah.
Owen King and Shirley Langer, general managers at 1855 Saloon and Grill. Check them out. Great food, great atmosphere, great everything. Big city food in a small
town.
In a small town. I love it. We'll be right back with more Talk of the Town. Welcome back to Talk of the Town. We are so excited to have our good friend, Dr. Marcia Schaefer from Spring Creek Family Chiropractic back in our studio. Dr. Marcia, welcome back to our studio.
Thank you.
It's always good to see you. We're going to talk a little bit about how seeing your chiropractor might help you with some fertility issues. So tell us exactly why you think infertility is such a big problem nowadays.
Well, there's no secret that our society is becoming more and more ill every year. Right now, 1 in 5 couples are dealing with infertility, and it's based very much in the paradigm and how we view health. So if you'd give a healthy person medication, you're going to make them ill. So why would we give someone who's ill that medication hoping that it's going to make them well? The whole point of medication is to hush symptoms, and infertility is a huge sign that there's an underlying issue that needs to be addressed, and the answer is not, in a vast majority of the cases, it is not in drugs and surgery.
So you would say that infertility is not the problem, but a symptom of a different problem.
Correct.
Okay. So tell us a little bit about blood sugar and insulin levels and exactly how that affects fertility or infertility.
Yeah, well, let's say you have a breakfast of some cereal, an orange juice, and a banana. That's a very high glycemic meal, and when you have high glycemic or high sugar, your body sends out insulin in response. But that insulin will crash your blood sugar, making you want more really easily digestible simple carbs like a bagel or a cookie or something like that. So when there's that roller coaster, your body just gets stressed out. One of the most commonly known infertility concerns is polycystic ovarian syndrome, and that's actually an excess insulin issue instead of the actual ovary, but it basically inhibits ovulation, so it doesn't let ovulation happen how it's supposed to. So when I work with my couples to regulate that blood sugar and make sure everything is okay, we have significantly better outcomes with fertility.
So polycystic ovarian syndrome is a result of extra insulin in the body, released by the body, and is the extra insulin a result of our diet and what we're eating?
Very much so.
Yeah, that's kind of stirring news for some of us because we do eat a lot of sugar in our society, for
Right.
sure. Tell us a little bit about the thyroid and how that is connected with infertility, or fertility, I should say.
Yeah, a lot of couples don't realize the significant impact having proper thyroid function is in gaining pregnancy, maintaining pregnancy, and going through a healthy pregnancy. If you have too little thyroid or your thyroid's not functioning properly, you could either lose your cycle, so not even have a cycle. You could have a shortened second half, the luteal phase, as people would know, or you could have a lot of other constant miscarriages or other issues. So it's really, really important to regulate that thyroid and get the proper nutrients in there to support and make sure the system's working properly.
And proper nutrients is a big part of
Yes.
regulating the thyroid. Can you talk to us just a little bit about that and what kinds of things we can eat to help us regulate the thyroid?
Well, I always have my couples, it's more the quality of food that you get in, to stay away from the processed stuff and make sure that you're getting, what are your 5 favorite vegetables? A lot of people cannot answer that question, to say what are your 5, what do you eat every day? What 5, just to start. So cleaning up the diet, basically getting closer to nature when you're working with your foods is huge.
Sure. Now, as we move into the future and so forth, we're constantly moving faster. We're in a society that's moving faster and faster, which obviously creates more stress and anxiety. How does stress and anxiety affect fertility issues?
Well, as a chiropractor, I'm trained to locate and detect stresses in the spine and in the body in your life, and it's called subluxation. So there was a study done. A lot of subluxation is caused by long-term stress. It's not something that just happened yesterday. Somebody says, "Oh, I picked up an empty box and blew out my back." That didn't happen just from picking up the box. It's a lot of things that have built up. There's a study done on over 400 women over 4 years, and while cortisol, which is a commonly known stress hormone, had nothing to do with infertility, alpha amylase, which is a long-term stress hormone, more than doubled the risk for infertility. So as a chiropractor, we're reducing stress by fixing those subluxations and helping the body function as it's supposed to. And it really, really helps. And that's why there's much better outcome for fertility when you are seeing a chiropractor.
Very cool. And when you are working with couples who are trying to conceive, what are some nutrients that you recommend that they really try to hit hard to help them with their fertility issues?
One of the biggest ones is vitamin D. There's a lot of studies that show 4-time increase in fertility if you have adequate vitamin D levels, meaning between 70 and 90. The other thing that is incredibly vital, and this is for men and women because it takes two. So
Right.
omega-3s is a huge one for men and women that's going to improve all aspects of fertility for both couples or both people.
Very cool. Dr. Marcia Schaefer, thank you so much for joining us today. Dr. Marcia Schaefer works at Spring Creek Family Chiropractic. Check them out. And that's all the time we have for Talk of the Town. We'll see you next time.